Alright, just let me check the sound. Okay. Alright, so let's continue what we've done yesterday. Although no, I had one thing in my mind which I would like to improve. And this comes to autocompletion. So in the past I done that multiple times, but didn't really wrap my head around how I really supposed to approach this problem, because on one hand I want people to autocomplete as many commands as it's possible, I mean, just for convenience. But on the other hand, I understand that sometimes it can be annoying, and sometimes, although I kind of like track the progress of the commands, it's I don't know, it's a bit overwhelming. So I reduced the amount of global commands, which which appear right away when you type something, not like part of the command, but when you just starting type sort of command. So yeah, but I realized that sometimes, for example, I can type like treble clef or let's say bass clef, no problems. But when I want to do something like tempo, it doesn't show me anything. So I know that this is part of measure, but so I mean, when I type measure and then I type like tempo, it shows me, yeah, you can type this thing because tempo is a part of measure. So it's all good, right? But on the other hand, sometimes you just have one measure, and you just sometimes I notice that in the tests when I write them, it's kind of like nice to have such things right away. It's not like super important, I think, but still, I would like to improve this thing. So let me check my current branch. Let's say we want to improve autocomplete. All right. So in order to do that, by the way, did I start? Yeah, I think I can close these things, not this one. Okay, so how it's done? How can I open the new tab? I cannot open the new tab. Okay. And let me start npm run editor watch. So this command recompiles each time when I change any files in these folders, because they kind of like related to the editor, and yeah, I always can get the latest update, like bundled files and etc. So it's all good, but let's see what we can do here. So yeah, it's a part of editor and it's in JS folder, and I think this thing is called list of commands. Yeah. So here we see quite convenient data structure where commands are listed in their scopes. For example, when I'm in the scope of the court, I'm using these commands, quite a lot of them. But I mean, when you type, of course, it's all reduced to a few options, which is convenient. Then there are like also scopes for sub commands, which is also nice. The one that I'm interested in is measure. So this one, it's a lot of commands, but I think what we can do, we can copy these things, and I will select only the ones that I think make sense to put in global scope, where you just can type new commands. So just let me check generally. So we can type chords, we can type clef names, we can do side notes, which is good. Yeah, these things. I'm just trying to understand. Do I really need to put it here? Because those things like kind of like sub comments, and I'm not quite sure that it's convenient to put all of them here. In other type of commands, I think it's kind of like alright. Although, yeah, I need to consider, I think, other commands as well, because sometimes some of these things can be moved to sub-comment scopes. So yeah, it's a lot more work than I expected, but this is something that bothers me, to be honest, more than creating new feature. I wanna improve existing features. So let's focus today on this, and if we have time, we can continue with testing for grace notes. So today will be more or less chill time, I think. So yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna fix the commands that I already have here, I think, but all I can do is just try to add these things here. Okay, so this command is very tied to the measure, so it doesn't make sense to put it to global scope, as well as this one, I think as well, of course. Yeah, this one. So those things, I also think that they're kind of like related to the measure. Bar line, yeah, and this is kind of like sub comment thing. Okay, so let me check. Yeah, I think all those things can be removed. Yeah, this one is alright. Yeah, I think this is necessary. This one, I mean, I guess, but it's not worth it to include here. Okay, I think a measure has been before, obviously, right? There is no way I have put it here. Yeah, I can see it. Alright, so we can remove this one. Measure rest, is it included before? Not really. Okay, interesting. So we can, I think we can include measure rest. Yeah, those things I think we can remove. Measures has also been mentioned before. Stay, voice, I think all those things are kind of like it's been mentioned. Let me think. Yeah, main time signatures. Yeah, I think those things are right to keep it here. Let's remove this one, and yeah, maybe we can leave this one. Yeah, main repetition notes. Yeah, we can leave it here. Okay, so let's go through all the commands in general scope. I wanna reorder them, to be honest, because it seems like to me that I usually order in regard of importance, but um, yeah, but I think that here, yeah, I would also stick to this because I don't want any alphabetic order considering that I have variables here. So yeah. So let's start with stretching. I think they're the most important things here. And the commands that will seem to me kind of like subcommands, I will consider removing them by checking if if the specific scope is created. If it's not, then I will try to create the scope, and yeah, this way I will just improve the will improve the whole thing. Wait a second, I think something is wrong with my stream. Yeah, wow, I'm not recording all the... Alright, now it should be okay, I think. Let me check. I just purchased today second monitor where I can check everything, but okay, it seems like it's alright. Wow, it's weird that I just noticed that. Yeah, sorry about that. So okay, so what I was talking about is just yeah. So let me start over again. So we have autocompletion here, which I want to improve. And for example, there are certain commands like, for example, treble clef, which I can type here, but I cannot type, for example, things like tempo. But if I type measure event tempo, it shows up. So I wanna just move some of the subcommands into the global scope, just because sometimes it's convenient to have them there. So yeah, that's the basics of what I'm going to do, and this is structures which are responsible for scopes and of the completion of commands in the editor, and I'm just shuffling around and trying to kind of like trying to make things better here. So I started by moving these commands here. I think they're kind of like important, the most important, because I want to reorder all the commands by their importance. So yeah, then I think it's of course such commands like measures and stuff like that. So let me find those. So yeah, this one's. So probably today I'll be focusing on that, just because I wanna fix existing feature, and then if I have some time and strength and energy, I would say, yeah, I will continue with testing of Grace Notes. Yeah, we'll continue that. So yeah. I mean, such stuff it's quite enjoyable to do because it's not difficult, and you can make a significant improvement in your product, which is always nice. So, all right. So I think new line is also important. I'm trying to. Yeah, I started to realize that maybe I don't need to kind of like have autocompletion for the rest of the commands when, for example, I don't know, it's quite tricky, but yeah, I will go one by one and we'll decide in certain cases. So okay, so yeah, we got new line, we got measure. I think then if we go down to the structure, I suppose it should be stave, voice, yeah, those things, rest, yeah, court. Okay, let's remove this thing. Yeah, I think this thing also goes here. That's nice. Comments and side notes. Yeah, sure. We can move them even here. Alright, so split it. Key signature names. Yeah, I see them here. Okay, so measure numbers. Do they have separate scope? They do have separate scope. So what does it mean? It means only one thing, that I don't need all these things. I might need I'm just trying to think about it. Yeah. I can go crazy mode. The crazy mode is that I split everything like into the scopes. In this way, what the benefits? The benefits are quite obvious. The benefits that I don't get the autocompletes when I don't need them. So I think that'd be nice. Yeah. Okay, so let me think about it. Yeah, it's gonna be huge work today, but it's not that difficult work because luckily all I need to do is just to shuffle this data structure, and my autocomplete will be improved significantly, and yeah, I just need some patience and go through all the commands here. And I think that I also need to kind of like go through certain page scenarios. I mean, like common scenarios, just to see a whole progression. Of course, I wish I had some sort of map of those progressions. Oh, by the way, I think I created one. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, if we go to the language and where it's implemented, to the parser. Yeah. Oh, okay. So interesting. Okay, let's find where this called. Constructor parser scenarios. It's interesting. Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we're going. Yeah, of course I automated this thing. I wish I had like in a raw format, but or maybe I can capture this thing. You know what I mean? Like, can I do this? By the way, that would be interesting. I just need to figure out how it's better to include this functionality in a product, not the product, but rather in the code. Yeah, that would be excellent thing. And it would be quite nice to update it once in a while. What can I do actually? I can just type some commands right here, and then I can sort of. I wish I would put this into the how to say in a file somewhere, and the command which will update this file. So yeah, it's an interesting idea. I think we can do it. So we can go to the deployment and we can create a new file which is called capture, or rather let's name it like this one, generate map with scenarios and scenarios. It's a bit dumb name, I think, but whatever. I wanted just to be consistent in namings. Okay, so what's the goal here? We need the root, I think. And now what we can do is like we can install this thing. So it goes into parser and scenarios, right? Okay. Okay, so here we go. So language, parser, scenarios, and I think this file right away. Yeah, it's all good. And now what we can do, I think we also need parser scenarios as well. Okay, so we're gonna type this thing here. Alright. Alright, so let me think. Just let me real quickly check the sound. Okay, I think a little bit higher. And also I think I need to decrease this thing. Okay. Alright. Let me check the sound on the stream because I don't want to screw this. Alright, so I don't know. I think we can increase the volume a bit, seems to me. Okay, alright, so what can we do here? So I think I'm trying to understand where should I save this file. I can save it just in a web app, so I can, you know, have an access to it. Yeah, I mean, why not? It's all good. Which format? I think just simple JSON format would be okay. Okay, something. Okay, so I don't know. There is seems like background noise. Yeah. Probably it's air conditioner. I don't know if that helped. Okay, I think it's okay. So, all right. Okay, so we can continue, I suppose. Oh yeah, okay. So it seems to me. Yeah, no, it should be better. Alright, so I think we can create a new file which is called, let's call it just map of scenarios .json, and yeah, I think that would be enough. And now we can, of course, do something like this, file sync, and what we can do, we can just simply say, hey, I want to write this file in web app into the JSON map of scenarios, okay, .json. Okay, and the thing that we want to write there, JSON stringify. Let me check real quick how it's supposed to work. And parser scenarios. Okay, so is this function? Yeah, I think it's function. Okay. Okay, so what we should do here, I think we can just tell that we want to map by parser scenarios, and I think that's it. That should work. Let's set this script here, maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure where should I put this one. Let's go on the generators here. Generate map of scenarios. And here we just call this deployment. And okay. Yeah, it should work. Okay, so let's try. Okay. All right. It's all good, but probably that would be better if we kind of like can we prettify this thing? Are there any packages I can use? Let me check. Prettify JSON. Yeah. I think maybe I already have installed it somewhere. I'm not quite sure. Pretty. Okay, not really. I hope it works. Well. Okay, so let's install this thing. And they're suggesting these settings, I guess. I don't know. Let's go. They're using quars. Must be an alt library. Okay. I'm not gonna use it in production, I guess. It's just a local command, so I hope there will be everything alright. Okay, so what can I say? I can say this one. They're suggesting, okay, it's time to bring down the code, I think. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, they're putting on input object. Okay. This is our object. And now we are just doing this thing. I'm not quite sure that's... I don't know what this does, to be honest. Yeah. Anyways, so let's try and run this command again. Okay. Yeah, but okay, this is not something I wanted to have. Because it synchronizes those things. So yeah. Okay, so maybe we can just do something like this. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the hell was going on. Okay, yeah, I don't understand this thing at all. Okay, so we basically... So it synchronizes those things. And of course, I'm not quite sure, maybe it translates to the string. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, it translates to the strings. Okay. So, yeah, that's really cool. And this is something that we can definitely use as an example. Yeah. All right. I think we can open these two files, I guess. All right. So let's continue, right? Here it's called general, here it's called common, but I think it's all right. Yeah, there are a lot of stuff here, but I mean, there are a lot of scopes, obviously, but okay. All right, so comment, side note. So let's start even here. Do we really need this thing here? I don't know. Let's start with I think it's called side note as well. No. Yeah, I think for this particular thing, I guess I need to go and see what exactly we're checking here. Okay. Just 1 second, I'll be back. All right, so comment starts with the text. Okay, I'm not quite sure. Okay, I think for this particular case, it's alright to go without any scopes. Probably as well as here, I think. So let's go check the key signature scope. If okay, so this things here is all good. But maybe key signature name. All right. I think that I think what we can do here is just we can do something like this, I suppose. Okay. All right. So. Okay. Although I'm not quite sure, to be honest, because although yeah, I think it's all right because yeah, it will cover those things, and I guess that we can remove those. I think those things we don't need them. Lyrics is under. Okay, let's check if we have the scope for the lyrics. Yeah. Let's check. Oops. Let's close this one. Oh wow. Okay, this is not what I wanted. How do I? Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is not the. Well, I just need lyrics. Can I just get the lyrics, please? Okay. Lyrics position. Yeah, that's what I need. Okay, yeah, I think in this particular case, when we add lyrics position, not exactly here, but add yeah, it's here. Lyrics position. Yeah, I think isUnder is included here, so I think those things are kind of like needed, I suppose, in this case. Okay, measure numbers. Do I really need those things here? That's a good question. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we need to remove all these things. I think it's not necessary to have them. Okay. All right. Yeah. Now we're all set. And now, I think we can create another scope finally. First scope that we will add today. How it would call, I don't know. We need to check. Add measure. Add measure numbers. Measure numbers. Yeah, they go under the measure numbers nonetheless. So yeah, we don't need now any other scope. Yeah, I think it's quite rare where we need kind of like it's quite rare where we need scopes with progression more than 2 or even more than 1 for autocompletion. But I don't know, maybe there are some commands that I don't remember, that they are very deep. Yeah, we will figure out today anyway. All right. Okay, so let me think about it, right? Where we were. Okay, so measure numbers. I think that new line. I mean, I guess we can add this stuff here. Okay, this one is interesting because it's page meta names, and I think they can be is they there before, so stave we already included them. Clef names, oh yeah, stave with clef names. Okay, we can include this here, I guess. Oh, I forgot one dot. Okay, now configurable style names. Yeah, I think they go this way as well. Hide the last measure. Yeah, I guess no scopes needed. Slur, glissant, the tablet, octave up, octave higher, down, da da dun. Yeah. And those are additions that we didn't have. Yeah. I think rest can be removed because it was before, and I think we need to do it here after the chord. Would make more sense. Okay, so okay, times. What is times? Yeah, I don't know what it is. Tempo, metronome. All right. Yeah, I think it's became more. Yeah, now it makes more sense. Wow, I really like what I've done here. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so let's go to other, just check next Dave. Alright. Yeah. Okay, this thing also makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there is no reason to... or maybe there is a reason. But in this particular case, it should work alright. I split it by new lines, different sections. Maybe I should do it here as well. Probably. Okay. Yeah, it will be easier to modify something in the future if needed. I think they are kind of like related to the same thing. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so it's interesting. Articulations with turn, with mordant. I don't know. Yeah, they're all kind of like ornaments. Okay. Okay. Interestingly, they all have similar stuff. Yeah, they're all, I think, related in one or another way to stimulus. Okay, yeah. Alright. Yeah, that looks cool. And then I even go further with parentheses. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was all considered before. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, everything does make a lot of sense here. What I see. Okay, so here we go. Okay, let's split it here as well. Mm-hmm. What is times? I don't really. Okay, yeah, maybe like. Okay, tempo metronome. Can leave it here. Okay. With similar of previous measure. Mm-hmm. Do we need to do this stuff? Maybe, yeah. Okay, I think we can delete these things because it would just confuse unnecessary. Yeah, okay. These things make sense. Okay, this also makes sense. Alright, so measure numbers and node. Okay, for the node I think it's the same stuff, almost the same. With parentheses. Okay. Let's split these things as well. Okay. Oh, I need to charge my laptop. Just 1 second. Yeah. Alright, so let's continue what we were doing here. Okay, the dots, blah blah blah. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Okay. Yeah. All right. Those things are quite nice. Let's continue. Okay. Those things are kind of like, yeah, those are ornaments. Let's separate them. I think we don't need this. Okay. Okay, so yeah, tremolo, stroke, and similar. They kind of like have common words, so they should be in the same group, in my opinion. Oh, actually no. Those things are kind of like similar. Okay. Note with parentheses, blah blah blah. That's all good. It's all good. Yep. Actually, I'm impressed by my work in the past. I think it make a lot of sense. And it still makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yep. Alright, I think we're all good to go. Alright, so yeah, we're generating the bundles. Just let me close this tab and close all those tabs. I think it's not important now. Alright. Let's reload the page and see. Tempo is okay, that works. Yeah, this is what I wanted to achieve regarding this stuff. Okay, let's release. Of course, first let's add changelog. Let's put improved. Today is 16th. Completion in the editor for the global scope of commands. Okay, so I think this is really nice. And now let's let's stop the watcher. let's see our status. Okay. Okay, so I think this is correct version. Yeah. Let's update cache files. Let's just run linter just to be sure that it didn't screw up. Okay. How good I did this, right? Yeah, it's a new file. Let me see. Yeah. It was copy pasted from the example. Do I really need this? I don't know, maybe. And what I think as well is yeah, I think we can remove this stuff and just install it in dev dependencies rather. Oh, okay. We have one high severity vulnerability. npm audit. Let's see. First XML parser. Where do I use this first XML parser? Do I really use this one? How I can tell? npm y, I guess, right? Okay, so it seems like I included this thing right here. Why do I use this? Page on input is valid. Oh, okay. Actually, it's interesting. Can I use other library instead of this one? Or maybe I can fix it, right? Let's try fix one. Okay, npm audit. Okay. Let's just hope. I think. Yeah, I'm using this validator when users wants to download the SVGs and stuff like that. Yeah. I can also use compression for SVGs, which is called. It's kind of like has the specific name for it. It removes all the keys, all the stuff, unnecessary stuff from the SVGs. I think when a user downloads those files, it's not necessary to have them because most of the tags and names, attributes in SVG are functional, and they need only when you're interacting in an editor, like for example when you jump from one element to the text and vice versa. So yeah, I think we can consider using this stuff, but probably in the future, I suppose. Although it's always nice to have this thing. Huh. Yeah, it would require serious consideration of. In some places, I just need to re-render in a certain way. So yeah. Hmm. I don't think that it's significant problem for now. I think it's alright. Because like if you constantly think about certain problems, at least that works for me. I always try to solve them, but I really hope that it's not an issue. And although I improved significantly the way that pages have been loaded from database, and also changed the database structure where I'm using MongoDB, and I put all the pages in the project themselves, which is really nice, because before that I kind of like had separate collection of documents related only for pages, which is, I don't know, feels a bit it's just sad that I had to do that, considering that MongoDB is kind of like allows you to store nested objects. Um, but now, since I just need to save only texts and I re-render them on the fly on the front end, which is by the way much faster than I upload large SVG files from the network. Yeah, I'm really glad that the algorithm of drawings works quite fast. It's not, of course, it could be much faster, I think, but it would consider a lot of work and a lot of simplifications of the algorithm. So yeah, I think it's for the future. For now, I'm more than happy with the result. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you think about your product constantly, you always try to find different things that can be improved, and it can actually drive you crazy. So I'm trying just to be more humble and modest in this regard. I'm trying to gradually improve my product. But I mean, I noticed that when you think about problems in your life and in your product or in your code, it's just too much stress. I think you need to release your stress into writing. Like, for example, if you think about the problems, you just write them down, and you kind of like closer to solving them this way. And when you start solving your problems, the stress goes away because you're already working on them, right? And this is what's important. But there is no point to think about your problems. You can just mention them, you can write them down, but just don't constantly have them in your head. If you have some problems, just write them down, and once you have time, just try to solve them. And in time, while you're solving them, the stress goes away because like you're doing some progress, and your hands, your brain is busy. So this way you cannot be stressed. So yeah, but constantly thinking about the problems, I mean, it's not healthy. And I had this problem, and I still have this problem sometimes. It's not healthy at all. And yeah, I hope that I will improve in this regard. So yeah. Anyways, I think let's talk about positives. I think we have done good job on Autocompletion because we separated different set of rules or commands, and we cleaned up the journal scope, which is always nice, and we added some missing commands here. So yeah, and now let's commit this thing. Okay, so now we can push this thing here. Okay. We can safely merge this. And we can update the files on the server. Actually, another problem that I just remembered again is I'm not using Webpack or any other tools to compile all my JavaScript code. I'm using like Babel and Browserify, I think, and Uglify to bundle them in one file, minimize them, and yeah. But one detail that kind of like I don't know how to solve yet is then, for example, when I upgrade my version of the Unison, I update all the links, all the caches, and it's all good, but I don't necessarily want to update all the cache, because sometimes I just update few files and I only want to update their cache, not other ones. So I need to come up with tricky algorithm where the system detects only the files that's been changed, and only they have been updated. Yeah, I don't know how it's essential for now, because I don't have much JavaScript code on the client side. I mean, of course I have a lot of code, but I mean I don't have that many files compared, I don't know, to other enterprise products. And yeah, also if we start to talk about problems, I think my framework, front-end framework, HTML also needs to be refactored in some smart way, because I use their mixed styles with procedural programming and like with async tree pattern, and probably, I don't know, I think the code in that framework can be simplified, and just to reduce the size. Yeah, I need to, I don't know, also I need to maybe include CDNs and stuff like that, but this is for the future. Right now I'm just more focused on functionality and attracting users, and then we can, you know, improve all the time, every day. Yeah, those problems are kind of like important, but how I choose problems to solve? It's quite interesting question. I have file. Usually I stored all the tasks in GitHub tracking, where I track all the issues, but I mean, it's convenient, but at the same time I don't like huge backlogs because I know how it's annoying to have dead tasks. And I mean, the most important things you always remember, and you always come back to them, and all you need is just to focus on certain things, right? And there is a folder in my project which is called development, and here I have a file which is called next top 4 things to do. And if you look, like, I have one thing, I have second thing, third thing, and fourth thing. That's most I don't know, most important problems at the certain point of time, or the problems I want to solve next. And it's kind of like nice to have only few problems that you want to solve, since 4 is my favorite number and it's quite small, because I don't want to do more than 10, definitely. I mean, it will be mess. And but 4 problems, I mean, of course you can see a lot more points, but there are kind of like sub points. Here is like top 4 in global term. So as you see, we already fixed the tab problem with the errors, so now we have 3 things. And if something comes up, I can always add this one. And also we kind of like improved the Autocompletion in the editor, which I even didn't add here, so it's also quite nice that some of the things are so important that I'm just doing them, you know. I don't I don't need to add anything here. And yeah, but many people would say, but how you gonna track in the future certain commits and like issues? It's quite important. But to be honest, if we realistically look at those things, I think you quite rarely, I mean, I don't remember last time when I kind of like checked the issue trackers with the commits. I mean, usually I leave quite comprehensive commit messages, and I can search by them and see certain changes if I need to, you know, remember why I did this, or I mean, when I did certain things. But other than that, I think it's all good. It's not that important. And the satisfaction when you check the boxes here in MD format and when you delete them, it's a really satisfying thing to do. And also it gives you the sense of importance, right? When you have a huge backlog of tasks, you kind of like lost, and you're always trying to find the things that you want to do. But I mean, it can be quite distracting, and I don't know, it's just overwhelming, right? And when you just type only the most important things and you do them, I think it's more nice. But of course, I break this rule. For example, if I have more ideas, I add like 5 or even 6 sometimes. But I try not to do that, and do it if only some, you know, there are a lot of things that needs to be improved like immediately or something like that. So yeah. Alright, so I think we did a good job. And let me check the Unison application. I think okay. Yeah, let's just try to open a certain file. Yeah, it works, which is cool. Alright, so I think I need some few moments to rest, and we can continue testing Grace Notes. which is also a lot of fun. So yeah, I hope that I can test a lot of things, and yeah, hopefully we can. Of course, it's quite interesting thing when you hope that you will not find any errors, but at the same time, it only means that you poorly tested. At least in my experience. So hopefully we'll do a good job and we'll find as many errors as we can. But if we will not find, then it's fine. I'm good at that. But yeah, I will try my best. So see you. Yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes, I guess. All right, so let me check one more time the sound. Yeah, I think I need to close the window. Just 1 second. All right. So I think in order to dive into the flow, let's run all the audio tests. And let's just get inspired by the existing things in the world. Okay, so I'm not quite sure I want to use this window. Okay. Let's close everything we don't use. Okay, so the latest test that we have on our hands is Grace 27, and last time we focused on cross kind of like stave voice things. I think there is even this test, which for some reason doesn't get uploaded. Okay, we have some test that's been written but not created. Grace 28.txt. Okay. Oh, I think I can just this test is not found. Okay, so this is the latest test that we have, and but I thought that we had some sort of cross voice stuff. Yeah, this one. Okay, so that's all good, I think. Yeah, maybe we can listen to it just to check. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll try to focus on lower voice if I can. So lower voice should sound one octave lower from this grace note. Okay, what we can do, actually, we can lower it even more. So let's say raise 26, and we can say that we wanna 2 octaves down, and just run this specific test. Alright, yeah, it's failed for SVG, so I don't think it will be rendered even for media, so we need to update this test, I think, which is fair, I guess. Okay, now we should be able to hear more clearly the difference, or not. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, because 2 octaves down. Yeah, let's do it again. Okay, now it should work, I hope. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alright. That's an interesting test. It seems like it works. I don't know. It's still difficult to. The high pitch just blurs what's in second voice. Okay, so we have this one, which is nice. Let me think about what can we test. Should we continue with pitches, or there is something for octave signs as well? I think we covered a lot of stuff regarding octave signs. I'm just trying to figure out, maybe we somehow missed something. Oh right, I remembered what I want to do. Okay. It's not related to the octave signs. It's rather I wanted to be sure that the timings of grace notes work as expected. I have already tested on that, but I wanna mess up with different say tempos, but I just realized that I order those things by timings. I don't know. Let's just because it's always confusing. Okay, so this test would be Grace 27. Okay, 27, yeah, it exists. 28. Okay, so what I want to do is, so let's say we have, first of all, let's have tempo, which is, let's go even further. Let's say we have this, right? this lower than quarter equals 50? Not really, right? Yeah. Let's go with this tempo. Okay. By the way, I want to test if this works as well. Like, will it change something? Okay, so let me check this. Okay. So tempo. Okay, yeah, I have separate namings for tempos. I don't know, let's call it tempo with I don't know how to call it, to be honest. I'm just gonna add a number. Sometimes it's just better to keep it simple. Let's go with tempo 2. Let's create a test. Alright, and let's go with specific one. Oh, I think. Okay. Alright. Oh wow. That's I didn't expect. Okay. Let's remove tempo. Okay. Okay, so tempo ruins everything. Let's add the spacing in tempo thing. Okay, so okay, let's go with quarter. Let's see how it reflects everything. Okay, if we go this, how it would go, okay, so let me think. So we decreased the so if 1/4 is 50, it means that yeah. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense now, of course. And when we specified the kind of like whole note. Of course, it's so fast that it creates the stretch of notes in this particular way. So yeah, it's an interesting effect. I don't think it's an error or anything, because if we do this and do this, I think it would work. Okay, let's hear. Yeah, and if we go like 25, it's supposed to be like 6 seconds, if my math is correct. But I don't know. 7 seconds. Okay. Okay. There might be like slight errors in timings. And also MIDI can show the different things. But anyways, I think it's just a round number. Alright, that's cool. And we didn't specify the... we can even do this, I hope, right? I think it should work. Let me just real quick check. Yeah, it works. Of course, it's not right thing to do, but if the user does this, it should work, right? So let me check the sound as well. Alright. Okay, so I think it should work. Yeah, it works. Perfect. Okay, so what I was doing is this. So let's put this thing here, and let's say we have 132A is grace. Let's say it's beamed. Yeah, it looks like this, which is alright. Okay, so then we do something like this. Now 16th note, it's also grace. I forgot the name of the note, but whatever. Okay, yeah, wow. And now, finally, we do this, which is also is grace. Okay, which is also grace. And now we do this, which is, let's do, yeah, it's okay, let's leave it like this. So we should hear like slowing down the tempos. We can start with this first example, but we're gonna make it more complex in terms of like different, we will add different staves and voices, yeah. Because I think there are a lot of problems in this area. But maybe not, I don't know. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so let me check the sound. Okay, so it should sound like fast, a bit slower, and then this. Okay. Wow, yeah, it's really fast. So here we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. um. How many sounds do I hear? 7 or 8? Am I crazy? I hear 6 sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I can hear this 4, that'd be nice. Okay, let's go here and make it like this. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this first thing that works, let's that's 29. Okay, so I wanna add the new. Let's go with new state for a moment, and we're gonna do the same thing, but with bass clef, and just to be, let's go with stem down. I fucking love. Oh my, sorry for cursing, but I really love this tool. Oh my god. Oh, it's just a bless. Yeah, just wow. Okay, so yeah, let's go with synchronization things. I think it should work quite nicely. Okay, so 29, 29. Okay, so that's kind of weird, because before it was 9 seconds, and now all of a sudden it's 2 seconds. Okay, this is not right. Yeah, but yeah, that's awesome that I catch this thing. Um, okay, 2 seconds. Okay. Huh. So to me, it seems like that the tempo thing doesn't apply for. Mm, it's either doesn't. I mean, it's supposed to work for both of the staves, but it does not. I don't understand what's going on here. Oh right, of course. For some reason I copy pasted the wrong thing. Before we had 1:20:32, and yeah, okay, well, okay. Grace 29. Okay. I hope it's supposed to be like 9 seconds. Yeah. Alright. I hear this thing, but I don't hear anything here. Okay, so let's create another test which will contain only this stuff. I think it's yeah, I think it might relate to the fact that grace notes don't reflect the key, the not the key, but sorry, the clef, the main clef. Yeah, which is okay, interesting. So this goes as grace 30, and I think all we can do is just to copy this thing. Okay. Grace 30. Okay. So let's check. It's either cross-stave issue or it's just grace notes don't reflect anything. And I forgot to put the tempo. Although here it's not that necessary, but still nice to hear everything. Okay, so right. Yeah, grace notes, they don't reflect main class. They do reflect, for example, if I do something like with bass clef before, then I'm pretty sure it should work. Let me see. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think it makes sense because I don't think that I added anything related to this things at time to indicate clef on stave before unit. Right. So I even don't consider this thing when I try to somehow get the octave for the grace note, I guess. Okay. By the way, where I'm doing this thing? Oh, right. Actually, I do this stuff here. Okay, interesting. Right. So, I'm curious about two things. About how do I indicate just simple clefs on staves, like this one, and also how do I add staves, mid-measure staves. So, okay. Yeah, I think I don't consider this thing, but I don't think I need to consider this stop voice key. Okay, interesting. All right, so it's quite an interesting problem. I think it should work, but like it doesn't. Okay, let's go back to the to this thing. Let's recreate the test. Okay, now we're using big clefs. Okay, so this note's working correctly. Alright, so let me think what went quite wrong here. Okay, It's also stave index. Alright. Okay, so it's interesting. Let me just log out this thing. I'm not quite sure that yeah, I don't think here will be any problems. Yeah, they're all on zeros, which is correct. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so I don't know. Um, what exactly here doesn't work? Okay, so uh, okay, let's clef time. Okay, let's look out this thing. Maybe it can show something. I don't think it's a huge problem, but still, it's weird. Okay, so let me just maybe require util inspect. Let's go with the depth of 9 and grace 30. Okay, so this is the time and this is stave index, and here's the clef, and all of them are bus. And so okay, so either note is grace. Oh right, so we don't have so we basically have the same problem as we had with octave signs here. Let me just remember what exactly. So octave signs for each splitted grace count. Yeah. Alright. And here I told that it's important that it's strictly less, but now I'm trying to think, is it really? Yeah, I think I need to create another test which would probably prove that it shouldn't be like exactly less. But what I would say is that it can be like this, but yeah, this thing goes the same as yeah, the same thing can be applied for the clefs. Okay, so no. Okay, so yeah, this whole thing is a bit weird, but yeah. Okay, so let me do this and say that. Okay, so it can be like this, and let's say we do something like here we go with clef time. Here we go with stave, not stave index, but rather this thing. instead of this we go with this. Oh. And then we just say that clef time should be, yeah, I think in this particular case it's less than time. I think in that case as well, but I think we will check that as well. So I need to replace this long conditions with some variables and with some meaning, because there is a certain meaning to it, but I don't know how to express it. So so here, if node is not grace, then it's alright. We can just we just can assign to any time that goes before, right? But if it's a grace, then there should be like two separate how to say, so normalized counts should be in an order, so that we can be sure that some of the grace nodes are related to certain things before and some of them are not. But there is a third case where his node is grace, but the thing that goes before does have nothing to do with the counting of graces. It just happens naturally. But we still must be sure that with this case, the time is less than not time. Yeah, I think if you look at this condition and this condition, they're quite similar. So I think that we can remove this one, I guess. And I guess that we need to remove this stuff because we are already checking this thing here, so it's not necessary to do this. So yeah, but I don't remember why did I put it strictly less. I think we can run all the tests and see if something fails, then we can then discuss it. Okay, test audio. Let's check this stuff again. I hope it fails. No, it does not fail. Interesting. It's very interesting. Okay. Okay, interesting. So this thing doesn't work. Okay, so let's go this way then. Let's log out this thing. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why. Okay. Clef time index. Okay, so now this grace count is not undefined. Yeah, by the way, why do I don't have this condition? It's super weird. Oh my god, I put it in the wrong place. Well, does it indicate something? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so that makes sense, I guess. And here we just do this. Which also does make sense. Okay, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so there is an application here. Yeah, finally we have failed a test, and let's remove all these things, I think. Hopefully we don't need them now. Wow, okay. Yeah, we don't need this either. Okay, so now it should work, hopefully. Yeah, cool. Let's now run all the tests. If some of the octave science tests will fail, then it means that we are to something. Oh yeah, there are some. Oh wow, there are a lot of tests which fail. Okay. Okay, so in this case, yeah, for some reason we need to tell that that this octave sign time is strictly less than not time. Why? Yeah, I guess it's because in this particular case, otherwise it will assign this thing to this thing, which is not something we want to do. But what I'm thinking is like, if I do the same test for the clefs, I think it would